So this is our psych project, and we did it over Lars and the Real Girl. Lars Lindstrom is a shy man who lives in a small Wisconsin town. He spends the majority of his time alone, and he goes out of his way to avoid human contact because it is physically painful to him. Additionally, Lars is religious and faithfully attends church every week. Despite avoiding human connection, he is still comfortable helping people in small doses. Lars' environment is a small Wisconsin town. It's a basic, stereotypical white suburb where mental illness isn't generally diagnosed. He lives in a garage alone and is usually secluded from others. He has also suffered from a lack of human connection in his life. Both of his parents have passed away, and his brother moved away when he was younger and later returned.
So his diagnosis is schizophrenia, which is characterized by alterations in thoughts, perceptions, or consciousness. In the movie, he didn't go to a therapist, but he was diagnosed by a doctor, and he was diagnosed as having delusional disorder because they weren't exactly aware of they thought his antisocial behaviors was normal. And since mental illnesses are less common and he wasn't exactly diagnosed by a therapist, they weren't able to catch that it was schizophrenia. But he did have delusions, so that's why he was shown as having delusional disorder. It could also been from a contribution thinking they thought that the deaths of his parents, his delusion was a coping mechanism to it. And then schizophrenia is not diagnosed in all cultures because, like it's seen in the movie, people are unaware of people with schizophrenia because they could still act normally and function. Like Lars still had a regular office job and was able to function. And so others were unaware of like his impaired social interactions, and that could happen to other people and other cultures too. And some cultures are less likely to recognize it because there's social stigma around it. And stigmas in our culture for schizophrenia is that people, others that around them think that people with schizophrenia are crazy and dangerous. And many people also believe that schizophrenia is incurable. And so this can lead them to be more inclined to leaving it unacknowledged. And then so evidence of Lars's schizophrenia is that he had a lot of antisocial behavior, like when in the movie, at the beginning of the movie, he was running away from Margot at the church, and he didn't acknowledge Margot at all whenever she was speaking to him at work. And he was also like very reluctant to like have breakfast or dinner with his brother and his brother's wife. And his delusions were the most prominent part of his schizophrenia. He thought that a doll was a real girl, and he thought he was his girlfriend, and he created an entire background and a life for her, and would talk to her by himself and like dance with her in his garage by himself and fight with her and bring her around everywhere. And he doesn't show signs of hallucinations. He seems to only make any actions whenever he has physical, actual sensory perception. So that's why there are no signs of hallucinations.
Treatment. Group therapy would be the best type of treatment for Lars to help improve his social interactions with people. Family therapy would also benefit Lars' family to cope with his illness and learn how to help Lars while also allowing Lars to communicate with his family. There aren't really any ethical concerns in the movie, but there are two major ethical concerns with group therapy. These are trained therapists and patients being informed of it. Two main barriers is mental illness awareness and access to a certified therapist. The film gave an accurate portrayal of individuals with schizophrenia because it showed how people in Lars' environment generally discarded that mental illness was the cause of his symptoms. This often happens in the real world because of the stigmas associated with this mental illness. Additionally, when Lars was being told that his delusions were not real, he did not acknowledge that possibility at all. This is an accurate depiction of schizophrenia because it shows that the individuals truly believe their delusions. This film influences our own understanding of schizophrenia because it shows the daily struggle Lars had to socialize with others, as well as the struggle those around him face in coping with his illness.